Good morning, everybody. This is Alan with D9Jsports. Hey, we're right back at it with another video. Once again, before we start, you know what I'm gonna need you to do. I'm gonna need you to hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Now, for those of you who hit that like and subscribe button, I know who you are. We greatly appreciate it here at D9Jsports. For those of you who haven't hit that like and subscribe button, I know you're gonna hit it. I'm really patient, and I mean really patient. So hit the like and subscribe button, share the videos with everybody, because before you know it, we're gonna be talking about your team if we haven't already talked about your team. And share the videos with your friends. Show the videos with your friends. So this show is going to be our recap show about some of the things that happened in Friday Night Football last Friday night. And we're going to talk about some of the teams within the area that we had already covered in the previous videos. For those of you out there, the young men and women who we don't talk about you today on this video, just be assured that I haven't forgot about you, and I will be coming around to you. Just trying to get everybody and make sure that we give you your recognition that you so greatly deserve. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's start off up north a little bit. Let's talk about the Nacogdoches Dragons taking on the Palestine Wildcats. The Nacogdoches Dragons were able to pull the game out 34-17. Now, there will be a recurring theme that I will talk about in every video, and it's about that inclement weather that went on and how it played a factor in the game. So Palestine took an early turnover in the first quarter, and they were probably about the 15, 16-yard line, and they got an explosive play by quarterback Tyrann Mathieu, and he scored a touchdown. And I will be elaborating a little bit more about this young man as we go down, as we continue to cover this game right here. So they got that early turnover, and they were to punch it in. Listen, that backfield of the Nacogdoches Dragons with Matthew, Whitaker, and Page, they're tough, man. They're tough. And it doesn't that kind of sound like a law firm? Matthew, Whitaker, and Page. Oh, yeah. They're tough. Kind of reminds me of back in the day, if you're old school, you remember the Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson and Lance McElhaney and Craig James up at SMU back in the day when it was called the Pony Express. So up in Nacogdoches, I want you to call old Matthew, Whitaker, and Page. I want you to call them Pony Express 2. Pony Express 2. So that's their new name of the backfield in Nacogdoches. Pony Express 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you those linemen, old linemen and D linemen for Nacogdoches and Palestine, man, they were going at it. It was sloppy, and hey, you know linemen, they like stuff like that. But hey, both teams were going at it. I saw a bunch of pancakes going on, a bunch of big time hits. So both teams' interiors came to play. So let's talk about that Tyrann Mathieu, quarterback for the Nacogdoches Dragons. Lady, I'm here to tell you, he's tough. I mean, he's tough, man. On that 17-yard run, and when he scored the first touchdown, it was eerily similar, and I mean eerily similar to Lamar Jackson. I mean, when he made that fake and turned up, at first I was like, man, they got him. All of a sudden, this young man's in the end zone. Man, he's explosive, he's fast, and he's tough. Now, sometimes, young man, now I don't believe in it all the time, quarterback sliding, going out of bounds. But in this case, young man, sometimes you probably need to chill out a little bit, man, because you are the heartbeat of that team. But hey, great. We're gonna keep an eye on this young man. I know scouts are going to be impressed with what they've seen from him from week one. Okay, now Palestine, just remember now, not about where you start at, where you finish at. Not about where you start is where you finish at. And another thing, I think some of those formations that Nat was in, man, they were causing a lot of confusion. They had 3 and 4 men in the backfield, caused a lot of confusion. But Palestine, hey man, don't get your damper down. Don't get your damper down. You've got a big game coming up this Friday night against the Jasper Bulldogs, and they're 0-1, and we will talk about them as we go forward in the video. So hey, coach, you get back to school, I guess Monday or Tuesday, whenever you guys get back to school. Hey, get back to work and let's get at it. Okay, and the cheer teams and the bands up there. I know the weather was bad, but hey, you guys and girls done a great job too. So continue to work. I know you guys put in a lot of work. Just continue to work, and you're going to have a bunch of games where the weather is right and you get to do your thing, okay? All right, great job up there. And once again, the Nacogdoches Dragons over Palestine 34-17. Let's move on. Let's move a little bit closer to home. Let's talk about the Longview coming into Lufkin and beating them by a score of 7-3, and it was another sloppy game. At one point, I thought that they were going to cancel the game. If you watch any of the other videos, I told you that I actually stayed 50 miles on the dot from Lufkin Panther Stadium, and it was raining here pretty much all day. And I thought that, hey man, they were going to cancel the game, but they were able to get it in. And it was, like I said, turnovers, man. So it was a close game. So Lufkin, Coach Quick, you guys just got to keep working. Just got to keep working. You got to keep working. Nothing to get down on. Just keep working, because remember, you can't win them all. All right, let's come a little bit closer home. Let's talk about West Orange Stark Mustangs over the Newton Eagles. They won by a score of 30-8. The score really wasn't indicative of the game. At no point did I think that the Newton Eagles were going to beat West Orange. But West Orange Star came to play. Their running game is effective. Their quarterback, he's tough, man. That defense is tough. So, and Newton just couldn't get going, man. They just couldn't get going. It was kind of bad there too, but they just couldn't get going. But hey, that's just the way it is sometimes. Week one, and Newton, remember, you're a 3A team and you're playing a 4A team. And we know that the Newton Eagles are gonna bounce back, okay. And the I'm here to tell everybody in the district was a 9-4A with the Jasper Bulldogs, the Hampshire Finette Longhorns, and Talkins and all that. Silsby, y'all better get ready for the West Orange Stark Mustangs. I'm telling you, because the West Orange Stark Mustangs look good Friday night. Okay, they look good Friday night. All right, let's move a little bit closer. Let's talk about Woodville. Woodville took on Orangefield, and Woodville was able to beat Orangefield by a score of 20-7. Another sloppy game, turnover after turnover. We're going to talk, like I said, we're going to call it Turnover Friday, because that's what happened. And then and I think second, third quarter, Luke Babin took off about a 65, 70-yard run with that explosive speed, and then it kind of pulled away from him, scored 20-7. So hey, once again, Orangefield. Some of these teams, I already know these teams are resilient. And we know that you guys and girls, you guys are going to get bounced back too. And over there, it was sloppy too. So, and the bands, same thing there too. Hey, keep up the good work. Hampshire Finette, let's go to Hampshire Finette over LCM by a score of 13-7. I think that may have been, like, from what I'll indicate, it may have been the worst. It was terrible. The weather was terrible, man. I mean, they couldn't hold on to the football. And Hampshire Finette, highly ranked, LCM came to play. Score was 13-7. Maybe if they had another minute, LCM was almost about to tie it up, but they didn't. So, hey, once again, I definitely want to commend those bands and cheerleaders. Man, it was really terrible down. The weather was bad down there. Let's talk about Beaumont United. Beaumont United got their first victory, scored 26-21 over Bel Air, and we're gonna come back this afternoon, and we're gonna do an exclusive show on Beaumont United. And talk about them, because hey, that was a good win for them, and just a little bit of it that we're going to talk about with Beaumont United. Beaumont United, ladies and gentlemen, was in the district last year. It was tough, man. Just about everybody that they played, the North Shores and all of that, they were either won the state title or were in the state title game and lost, or were in the game before state. When you're in a district like that, man, week after week, it's kind of like playing in the SEC, where you've got teams like Alabama, Georgia, LSU, South Carolina, Ole Miss, back to back to back. That's kind of what division they were in last year. So it was tough. So they came back. They ended up getting them a win 26-21. So finally, let's talk about the Jasper Bulldogs. I was at that game. The Jasper Bulldogs took it on the chin. I mean, they took it on the chin. They took it on the chin and took a couple uppercuts. They lost to Tyler Chapel Bulldogs about a score of 56-20. The score was not even indicative of that game either. I think they could have scored more than that. The biggest key that I took away from that game is we did not try to slow the game down. We started off pretty good, but then too many three and outs, too many turnovers. And there's only so much Coach Malcolm can do when his defense is on the field that amount of time. So we will definitely go and break that game down. As we do our weekly breakdown with the Bulldogs. And like I said earlier, they've got a big game coming up against the Palestine Wildcats. So Jasper, same thing, man. You can't get down. You got to go back, Coach Crumley, get them back together. Let's do some work. we've got some improvement that we can make, and that's going to be a big game with Palestine. Okay. So both and the cheer teams for Jasper, hey, I watched them and the band. They done great. They done great. So I'm proud of you young women in the band. And man, it was actually pretty good. I actually sit there and watch the whole halftime show. And anytime there's a halftime show that involves anything from Tyler, Texas, in that area, I'm an old TJC Apache, and it was Apache Bell, so I remember that. So if any team from Tyler's there, especially my home team, Jasper, there, I'm gonna sit there and I'm definitely gonna watch that all the way through. So great job. So finally, the last thing we're going to talk about, something I think that gets overlooked, is with that inclement weather, we're going to talk about the bus drivers. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about the bus drivers. You know, ladies and gentlemen, we entrust those bus drivers to take our kids to all these sporting events, football, baseball, all the sporting events. And we don't really pay attention to it. We don't really talk about it, but they've done a great job. I haven't heard anything negative, any accidents happen. So bus drivers out there, we appreciate you. Being able to get the kids back and forth on a dry day, but surely we appreciate you getting them back and forth on a wet day. So all over the state of Texas and everywhere, man, for the bus drivers out there, let's recognize them because they've got a tough job, especially on Friday nights. Okay, so we're going to continue our breakdowns of teams. And once again, this is Alan with D9Jsports. Till next time, we're definitely out.